so we're set up, and I'm going to show you how to hollow. Now then, there's a couple of ways of doing it. I prefer one way in particular. I've put a pencil mark on to establish the wall thickness. I've left it slightly thick because I know we're going to have to true up the outside, and that's because when you take any wood from the middle of anything, you're relieving tension and stress, and the wood's going to move. There's nothing you can do to stop that. So I'm going to make a cut in there first with the parting tool to establish the wall thickness. So let's turn the lathe on. Okay, if we switch that off, you can see there's a nice clean cut. Wall thickness is good. We're going to start hollowing. A lot of people hollow with the spindle gouge. Whatever you do, you don't want it in that position. If you get a catch, it's got to arc further into the piece before it comes out. So I'm going to move the tool rest up. I'm going to cut on the centre line, but with the tool slightly pointing down, just a fraction pointing down. Then, if you were to get a catch, it comes straight out of the cut. As I said earlier, in that position, it's going to arc further in. That position, slightly trailing, you're going to get a much nicer cut. Okay, so look, it's not quite on the center line. I'm going to move it up to there. Use my fingers as a pivot point. We're just going to strike an arc. I'm using just the tip of the tool. Still needs to be a fraction higher. Move that to there. Tighten the tool rest. A little push in the center. The flute is about 45 degrees. If you look at the clock, it's about 10:30. Little push on the center. Strike an arc. Push. Strike an arc. You're using just the tip of the tool. That will take away the wood. It cuts quite nicely. The only problem I have with that is the pressure is coming this way. If you get a catch, you're more likely to knock the piece out. So, again, once more, a little push on the center. Strike an arc. The other thing is, you'll see there's lines in the surface. It's very difficult to get a flat surface because we're just cutting with the tip of the tool and there's no bevel rubbing. I'm going to show you my preferred way now. I'm going to use a little quarter ball gouge. So let me set up for that. Take this out. Put that one back in. Drop the tool rest. I want to be cutting on the center line. I'm going to move this tool rest slightly closer. Put my hand over the top. I see a lot of people turning like this. It's more difficult to pull down than it is to push. Let the natural weight and balance of your hand help the tool. Again, the flute's at about 45 degrees when I'm cutting, but I close the flute to pick the cut up. Little push. When I've got that bevel rubbing, I've got the control of the tool. Open the flute to about 45 degrees. And push the tool through. So let's take a look at the surface. It feels really good. A beautiful clean cut, no tear out whatsoever. I'm using the bevel, that's helped me lie down the fibres. All I want to do is to hollow down to the line that I'm going to put on just now. So we'll work that out. Okay, if I go to a hollow to about there, this isn't going to be a very deep lid. It doesn't have to be. It's not going to be a very deep box. I think they're more useful than turning a deeper box. So that's where I'm going to hollow to. I'm going to leave enough room to put the insert in the top. And a little bit more room to be able to part it off. So I'm going to hollow it down to this line here. Let's just go back and use the spindle gouge because I want to show you the surface after the cut with the spindle gouge. Move the tool rest back up. A little push. Even though we're cutting with the grain, cutting that way, you're cutting with the grain. Going in that way is actually against the grain. That surface, there's more tear out there, more tear out there. There's lines in there. It's not a flat surface. I can feel it. So let's go back. You can see that one. Make one more cut with the ball gouge, and then we'll hollow the rest of it out. Close the flute to pick the cut up. Little bit of that bevel rubbing. You've got the control. Look at the way that handle's arcing. Look at the way the tool, it's starting in that position there and it's finishing in this position. I'm keeping that bevel in contact with the wood. If you do not get a flat surface behind the cut, your bevel is in the wrong position. An easier cut. Actually, I didn't drop the tool rest. You see this better. Close the flute. Bevel. If you ever have to force that through the centre, you've got too much pressure. Remember, it's running faster here and slower there. So your tool, the feed of the tool is very important. Just ease that middle out. As I say, if you push through like that, there's too much pressure. Slow down when you get into the middle. Stop that again. Have a look. I can see the surface. Beautiful. No tear out anyway, or anywhere, sorry. And that is a lovely cut. Okay, so I'm just going to sharpen my tool again and hollow the rest of it out, and we'll come back to the box scraper. Before we start hollowing, I just want to explain about my box scraper. You'll notice that there's a slight angle here. I didn't have it square with the rest of the bar. I sharpened it at a slight angle for this very reason. You can see the tool. I've set the tool up the way I'm going to use it. It's slightly angled. It's not square on. I can see what I'm cutting as I'm cutting it. It's also radiused here. It's only square right at the very corner. And the reason for that is because it is possible to catch this whole edge. If you left that square and you're scraping with a square edge, if you catch the whole edge, it's a big catch. So tapering that away allows me to use different parts of that curve, but I can never really catch the whole lot. Well, let me think. One other point. Look at the thickness of the tool. It's a good, thick, heavy-duty scraper. Doug Thompson makes them for me, and it soaks up a lot of the vibration. So let me put into position. I've already set the tool rest up, so we're going to move over here. The tool's pointing slightly down, but cutting on the center line, and we're going to be working from there to there. All I've done is cut an arc in with the gouge, and with this tool I can make a cut in that direction or this direction. I can push it in or cut across the bottom. So just work it out, step it out a bit at a time, and you'll have no problem. The smaller the cut, there's less resistance, and you'll work more accurately. So let's switch it on and go. We're going to clear the shavings out the way so I can see the steps. You don't want to make a cut when you're not sure and take a big cut and get a catch. Just step those down a little bit at a time. One more here. We're going to take half of that. Let's make one nice little arc from the center. Clear the shavings out the way, and then one finishing cut down the side. what I'm making sure is that this cutting edge here is parallel to the outside of the box. Then I can tell that the wall thickness is parallel. Let's just switch off and have a look. I think there's a little bit of clearing up to do in the corner. Yes, there's a little step there. But again, look at that surface. That's a really nice surface considering it's scraped. And remember, I sharpen my tool upside down. So I'm going to make one more cut into this corner, trail it across the bottom. Yeah, that corner in there needs cleaning up. And just see a couple of lines and we'll go from there. Okay, excellent. Apart from the dust, a beautiful clean cut around the bottom and no tear out on the sides. That's going to take a few minutes to sand and finish, and we're going to part it off and then we'll start to make the lid fit.